gonna go through the outside. Really low mileage on the car. Honestly, it seems like it was pretty well taken care of. Maybe it sat more than it should have. Got some oxidation and stuff. But paint's actually in good shape. It's just like the plastics that got affected. You got a little chips on the mirror. Little chips on the bumper. Straight to the plastic. Like, it really messed up the paint. Some down there. But beyond that, like, body work is good. You got some like door dings and a mirror, so someone was having a hard time parking next to this guy, especially because there wasn't many passengers from what I can see. And then this tail light, it got beat up or something, impacted right here, and then moisture and time and did its thing. Some like rash here, but really no signs of like paint work or repairs done really. Looks good. I did have on your windshield, sorry, I'm gonna walk all the way around here. This seam, I don't know if you can tell, it's bulged out. It's not supposed, I'm not supposed to be able to put my finger there. It's supposed to be tucked in like the rest. So that, if you get water in there and it freezes, that'll just keep pushing itself out. It'll cause wind pressure to also start pulling it out. So you can kind of see it a little better. Kind of popped up there. All right, we're gonna do our engine bay. This thing runs quiet. Nothing for vibrations. Very smooth. Plenty of get up. I love that this has a V6 in such a small car. That's such a fun drive. A lot of weight on the steering tires, so that's cool. Maybe that'll help with understeer that normal cars have to deal with. Manual trans, so it's checked like a differential down there. Hoses and everything check out really good. Back here you can kind of see, like here, just some like residue and stuff. So I don't know if this, it looks like they definitely cleaned this really well. So very subtle signs like down here. There's some grime on there, some grime here, like the rubber's kind of flaking there. Now remember, this car's 20 years old now, so some rubbers will start needing some attention here and there, but for the most part it's so low miles that it hasn't been exposed to so much as well. So it's kind of like a catch-22 on there. Stuff is going to pop up that you're not really expecting, just from like drying out over time. Like the hoses still feel good, but you can kind of see like the ribbing starting to show through and stuff. So just keep an eye on that kind of stuff. Belt's starting to have some lines pushed into it from the pulleys, but sorry about that. Nothing crazy in my opinion. The brake fluid looks amazing, still gold. Power steering is still great. All the fluids look good. They did put a battery in not too long ago, so checks out really good here. All right, so we're going through the underside. I always start here at the bumper. Looks like this guy wasn't scraping out of entryways and stuff. The nose is so long it does feel like you're gonna hit, but I had pretty good luck of not hitting anything. So I always start front to back just to see if anything's hanging down, loose, or sagging. One thing that did catch my eye, that tow hook there is bent to the side. So I'm not sure if that's how they're normally. I really highly doubt it with the rust marks in the metal bend, like pressure bend. Drives nice. I didn't hear any clunks or anything, so it's not like it messed up the subframe at all or anything, but it definitely got yanked on. Shouldn't affect too much though. Exhaust, full exhaust, stock. We're gonna go to each corner and just check like body, lift points and everything. All right, so this is your front lift point area, and then your subframe attaches to the body right here, and then you can see your cats and resonators. It's really good. You can see you still got like good paint and everything, just some gunk. And we're gonna go to the back here. Same story, really good shape. And that is your fuel tank there. And we're gonna go straight to the rear. All right, so this tow hook here, you see how it's straight? That's how they normally look. So, floor pan and everything, that's where your spare sits, dual exhaust. I did notice, like on the floor pan, see that rust starting to form there? That could start rusting into the floorboard itself. One moment. Okay. And so just keep an eye on something like that. You don't want the hangers to rust out, and then when you hit a bump, the weight of the muffler rip those out. So something to keep an eye on. All And then last couple lift points here on the passenger side. Fuel tank again. Looks really good. This thing hasn't even been on a lift very many times, I can tell you that much. Like I said, brand new tires on this bad boy, so looks good. Alright, so steering wheel, really basic. Cruise control. Current mileage at the time of inspection, 20,570. That is wild. That is just crazy for this year. Tire light stayed on pretty much the whole drive. Fuel light was on when I got there. And then I have the trunk open, brake set because we're kind of on an incline, and seatbelt off. So all those go off as expected. See, brake light on. The hatch I can't reach from here. It does have an aftermarket head unit. I love these. It's kind of cool. They're functional. Fog lights, they work. And then hazards, time, and temperature is in C. So boom, there you go. And that's that. Wind just shut the hood on us. All right, we're gonna pause here, and I'm gonna go from the open, like open all the doors and look from the outside in. All right, the car's pretty short, so sunroof. I love these that come out. I feel like that's so sporty. It's such a race car thing. This does have the black and red leather interior. You'll see some wear on this guy on the sides and stuff, the bolsters. That's kind of crazy for 20,000 miles. You haven't been in the seat very long for that kind of wear. Carpets are in good shape. It does have mats. There's a lot of little nibbles from the bottom of this mat that have come off. Probably rubber with time, and then same with here. Your back seats, I don't think anyone's ever sat in them. They look amazing. And then door cards are also in really, really good shape. Love to see it. We're gonna stop here and go to the other side. All right, on the passenger side, door card, really good shape. Seat in this side's really good shape. So not a lot of passengers. There was some, but pretty good shape here to the other side. Carpet as well. This mat's in a lot better shape too, so definitely wasn't a lot of people in this side. Seems like a single person car. I do want to note the ashtray is full of cigarettes. Thought that was wild. I'm gonna stop there. All right, this is gonna be your trunk or rear hatch on this model, I believe, because of the way that is. It does have this privacy dam, which is super cool, so you can have your stuff back here and no one can actually look down in the glass. Has your manuals and information, a Hyundai health and like safety kit. That's super cool, and a full-size spare. Super awesome. This tire is really good shape, but I can't tell. It looks like it's original, so like 2006 is what that date stamp is. I don't know if you want to replace that tire to match these ones. These ones are all from 25, but just keep that in mind. That tire is 20 years old now. All right, we're going through our scan real quick. So we had a couple. Airbag had some history codes, low voltage, lamp failure, and then tire pressure just said immobilizer. Or no, immobilizer was active. And then tire pressure was just a low voltage there. I did list all the codes, so you'll have the actual code that's associated to each concern and what the concern states verbally. Just to have all of that. The other thing here, the transaxle no response is because it's a manual trans, but everything else checked out good. All right, we're gonna stop and then move to our monitors from here. All right, so we're at our scan portion here. I always use this portion to make sure our VIN is the same in the computer as on the car. Now you'll see here we did have some of our EVAP stuff that did not get finished. I do go down the highway. Typically I try to do a pretty good loop, but this has no fuel in it. Range is too low and it's buried at the E, and I don't like to get stranded. So I went, did the loop, got up to highway speed, make sure everything does what it should, and just kind of go through there. Usually you got to do about 10 miles. I did about six or so, and then the range was low, so I didn't want to keep going down the highway and getting further away from the lot. But those don't really concern me. Typically you would get like a really nasty egg smell or like a hard fuel smell or a rough idle if those were actually being the case. I just think this has been sitting on the lot a lot, especially with low voltage codes. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. I am still shocked that there's only 20,000 miles on this car. Definitely was parked somewhere and driven on the weekends is what it seems like. Tires are all brand new as of 25. You can see they did some brake job on here. They don't come with slotted in or drilled rotors, sorry. And then there is some like dings and stuff on here, but nothing major. I did have a big concern with the windshield. Just want to reiterate that. Do have some oxidation on some of like the trim plastics, but overall paint's in great shape. Car drives really good. Stop, steers really good. Plenty of get up. These little V6s in these tiny cars is such a fun drive. I honestly enjoy this manual. Like the way those gears pop in, it feels good. 6-speed, I like that for economy, especially on these sporty cars. It makes your ratios nice and tight, so you can kind of get up and going without having to drag out any kind of long RPMs or anything like that. I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot going on with this car. It had some history codes in there. They seemed like low voltage. One was like for a mobilizer. You can tell there's been like some touch up here, but really for the most part this car was left alone and hasn't been through very much. Not a lot to go off of. It's a good little car. They did not give me very much fuel, so I didn't get to go very far. I did try to get at least 6 miles away from them and then loop back, just kind of give it, but fuel light's on and stayed on, and tire pressure light is on and stayed on. I'm gonna stop it there.